Round one. Fight.
Heroes never die.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
I used to be an adventurer like you. Then I took an arrow in the knee.
Power, sex, power. They both come down to one thing.
Hungry gamers.
Hello, and welcome, boys and girls, to the 135th episode of the Hungry Gamers podcast. We are powered by 8bit.net and Audio Technica. I am your extremely humble host, Brendan White. Find me everywhere at Brendan8bit. And joining me today, the other two tips of the spear. Miss Ali Hard can be found at Miss Ali Hard, and Salim Abraham, who can be found at Salim TD. What is going on, you pair of bloody legends? What's happening?
How do you come up with my two something counterparts? Is it just like spontaneous, like off the cuff, or?
If you could probably tell by how poorly they're thought out sometimes that it is very much off the cuff. I come into these episodes every week with the best intentions to think, okay, maybe I should start writing these down so I can just have like a book of them ready to go and I can just flick to a page and go whack. But no, off the cuff, and most of the time I do not stick the landing. So thanks for highlighting that. Appreciate it.
Oh, glad. Maybe you can get the audience to help you out with some variations on 3. Was it breast and thigh is still my favorite though?
Yeah. That was when I sort of had one of those out of body experiences when I just knew that I was, landing gold and making magic right there. But today was not one of those days. So how are we?
Good for a Sunday.
Good. Yeah, it's not as sweaty today, which is nice. It's a bit cooler in Sydney today.
Oh yeah.
It's starting to become the weekly sweat fest every time we record these, because you have to do them with like the windows shut so the noise doesn't come in, and you can't have the fan or the air conditioner on because it just makes too much noise.
Well, some of us can't.
Some of us can't. Yeah, Brendan, somehow you got it working, but yeah, it's good. It's bearable today, tolerable, and also I find your company today also equally tolerable.
We'll take that. And, we'll leave the backhanded compliment on the sidelines, but I appreciate the honesty there. So,
love you.
Yeah, episode 135. We are back in the swing of things. 2019. This year is already rocking and rolling. Like, it's the 20th of January already. Like, what in God's name is going on?
What happened? The blink of an eye. We'll be in the middle of the year.
That's it. It is scary, but it's also exciting at the same time.
People are already talking about a PAX. Which one's coming up? PAX South? Was it
PAX East.
PAX South. No, South.
Isn't it Boston? PAX East? Isn't that first one off the ranks?
I feel like I was seeing something for PAX South. I don't know.
I thought I did too.
Something. I'm probably wrong. I'll say I'm wrong, even if I'm right now. I'll take it. Humility is key,
How noble of you.
I'm falling on this PAX sword. But anyway, I wanted to say or ask or lead off first with something that last week only Miss Hart had seen, and Dream made the proclamation that him and I were both going to see it this week, and we both have.
Yep.
Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse.
Oh my god. It is a great film. I was blown away by it. I was genuinely blown away by it. Yeah, how cool is it? Like, obviously, I think we probably both went in thinking it would be amazing because it had just won the Golden Globe for Best Animated Pick. But it's just such a relentlessly positive film.
It's pretty special. Like, in all honesty, It is pretty special. It's right up there now as one of the best Marvel-based films of all time. The way it's just from my early gut check. I was smiling ear to ear from the outset. The animation style is some of the best I've seen in cinema. Like, and the art and the soundtrack and just the way it's all meshed together just worked so seamlessly. My God, it was a good watch.
I've got to be honest, the art style right at the start was really throwing me off. Like, it took me a while to kind of, like, adapt. Like, a part of me was like, was this meant to be 3D? And I forgot my glasses. Like, and so it kind of took me off just a little bit, but then I got used to it and then I loved it. So
I also had the same thought. I did, like, a quick check to see if anyone else in the cinema had, like, those 3D glasses on and if I'd missed out. But I think the two things I take away from it, like, one, it was actually really cool. I'm not a comic book guy, but it was really cool to see the Peter Parker story flipped on its head and also see, like, 5 variations of it. Kind of how it all kind of exists in a bubble together. I thought that was really well done. And then also having Miles's Spider-Man story play out as that's happening, I thought that was so clever. And then the other thing I'll take away, I won't, no spoilers, but the final action scene, I was like literally just pushed back by all the color. So much color everywhere. It was actually like intense to take in. It says at the start of the film that if you suffer from epilepsy, this isn't a good idea.
Yeah, nah, it was an acid trip. Like, it was wild. It was so good in all facets, and it really is a feast for the eyes, isn't it? Like, I'll agree with you both. Like, that opening sort of 5 minutes, it felt like it was running like maybe 20 frames a second or something like that. Like, there was this slight judder here and there that sort of when the opening scenes, but then you strapped in and settled in, and it just hit and it didn't let up. I like that it was a longer run time too. Like, I liked that it was about that 2 minutes. I mean 2 hours. Sorry, not 2 minutes. It felt like 2 minutes because time just flew by. Because it was a great ride, but 2 hours. It allowed them to play out those story arcs that you sort of roughly touched on there, Dream, and it really, really executed what I think they intended to do as far as creating these stories and telling a good tale. Yeah.
I think it was brilliant. I think it was 80 million to make. Let me fact check that number again, but I think I read that it was $80 million to put that together, and it number. Yeah, and it had grossed 240 when I was looking at it last week. But 80, it's it's not small by any means. I had another point.
I got one.
I don't know.
They're already talking about doing a Spider-Gwen, and I can't remember if it was Noir Spider-Man or one of the other ancillary
with
Spider
Nicolas
people.
Cage?
God, I hope so.
But they were talking about doing not another film, but a TV series, like maybe chuck it on their streaming service or something. So. Nicolas Cage as Noir Spider-Man was pretty fantastic.
That's pretty
so
funny.
Adorable with his like fascination with the Rubik's cube.
Mm-hmm.
So sweet.
Yeah. 90 million was the budget.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and it's just over 300 already. Yeah, it's so good.
On him.
But it was so well done. I love the story. I liked it sunk its emotional hooks in you too.
It's just because. Yeah, again, like it's so positive the whole way through. Like, aside from the bad guys, no one's actively trying to see Miles fail. Everyone's trying to prop him up, but he's also got the challenge of figuring it out for himself.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna watch it again.
I would love to, and in the cinema, it was an experience.
Yeah, that's the thing I forgot to say it's just come back to me. You need to see this in the cinema. I'm glad I did because. I don't think it's going to be quite the same once it comes to the home box office, the home entertainment center.
Yeah. But also, my favorite character by far though was old, Peter B. Parker, Jake Johnson from New Girl voicing him, the sort of disheveled, slightly out of shape Spider-Man. He was very much my spirit animal. It felt like watching this movie. I was in stitches just about every time he was on scene. I'm like, I can relate to you more than I probably care to imagine right now and admit.
Yeah.
But he was great. I loved him.
Kind of cool that they had two voices. Obviously, is it? Oh, what's his name? Who was the first one?
Who voiced the good Peter Parker?
Yeah.
The opening Peter Parker.
Yeah, let's not talk about it too much more because I feel like we'll land in spoiler territory.
Yeah.
Soundtrack is also stellar. I recommend people to give that a look as well. It's a really good soundtrack.
Yeah.
Blasted it after seeing it at the cinema, so.
Yeah, it's just, I can't fault the movie in any way. Like, The soundtrack was great. The art direction was great. The voice acting was great. The action, the story. It's just a complete meal. You walk out of that thing smiling with a full belly of love.
I gotta be honest, I was hesitant. I'm like, how can an animated film be this well loved and received? To be honest, like when it comes to animated movies nowadays, I'm not really that keen on it anymore. I don't really have time for it. But the fact that this one was getting riled up so much, I actually decided, and also because the style, I saw this art style and I'm like, okay, it's got that kind of, neon lighting kind of retro synthwave look that's very popular at the stage. So I'm like, I'll have a look. I'll, look into it, and was not disappointed. I could see exactly why this is on such a high pillar that it is. So
yeah, no, it was so well done. So well done. But let's keep this moving. Tell me, Miss Hart, what have you been playing this week?
So I actually picked up this very random game, which you were familiar with. I had never heard of it before. So it's called Shadow Warrior 2 on PC. Now, the reason why I picked up this game was a few weeks back, a tweet was retweeted and came up on my feed from Devolver Digital, where a person wrote them an email saying, hey, can you put Shadow Warrior 2 on sale, please? I want to become a badass at it. I really appreciate it. So Devolver Digital went, all right, done. Like, I think it was like 70% off. And they go, for 1 hour only. And I looked at the time, I had like 10 minutes left. And I'm like, all right, first of all, like, I'll see what this game is, see if anyone likes it, see what it's rated, saw it. So I bought it. Played it yesterday. Holy crap, this game is hilarious and so much fun.
It's so bonkers, isn't it?
It is absolutely bonkers. It's a first-person shooter set in this kind of like world where there's like demons around, and your particular warriors that go out and protect and serve. Although you more feel like a criminal, like a crook in some ways.
Yeah.
But your main character, what's his name? Something Wang.
It's Lo Wang.
Lo Wang. So there's so many puns on Wang. Like, I think your sword's called Long Wang or Little Wang or something like that. And like the game actually starts with an epic 80s tune blasting out of a car, and I was already hooked. And super violent, bonkers gameplay, weird characters, lots of blood, lots of gore, just fantastic one-liners and sarcasm. And like I said, I don't understand why this game existed for as long as it did. I think it came out in 2016.
Yeah.
And I never heard of it. So yeah, absolutely loving it right now. So I'm going to keep playing that one. So that was just a lucky find.
It's one of the prettiest games that Devolver have published as well. The graphics are pretty impressive. Like there's a lot of sort of textures and a high level of detail and quality, I think. But I like it because it's pretty much like guns and knives and magic and demons and samurais and robots and profanity. All the cool stuff from like that 80s, 90s action cheese era just chucked into a blender and turned into this game with some dick jokes in there.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly right.
It's well worth a watch. And I saw that tweet actually. And Devolver definitely gets some good bloke points for that, where, well, you know what? Yeah, for an hour, we're going to drop the price right down. People jump on it. I've got them both from, I think, a Humble Bundle way back when. But yeah, it's something that I've been aware of, but just haven't really sunk my teeth into. So I need to, especially now getting some heart feedback here, which is positive, just like everything else that's pretty universal in this game. But it looks so good.
I can let you know now it's online co-op, so if you're down, let you know.
I'm down. Let's just stop the pod right now, and we'll go Shadow Warrior our asses off.
That sounds good to me. So I recommend it if anyone wants a stupid high action, first person shooter that you just want to cause chaos with. Play it. It's even got like weapon upgrades, skill upgrades, and it's very extensive. So, I look forward to just delving into that a bit more. But Shadow Warrior 2. Get on it. The other thing that I played was Grim Fandango again for probably the 4th or 15th of 100th millionth time in my life. I saw that they ported this to the Switch. So as I do with all my favorite games in life, I bought another copy on my Switch.
What are they charging for a copy on the Switch?
I think it was on sale, knowing me. So I think I only paid like $12 for it.
Thrifty heart.
$12.
Tight ass heart. That didn't sound right.
I just had it like in an image of like a cute little love heart with like a little a-hole.
Actually, yeah, like the little heart, like just up the top, that could be like little tight butt cheeks. Anyway.
That's even better.
Yeah, graphics team, get on that. So Grim Fandango, which is a point and click adventure game originally, ported to the Switch, surprisingly handles well. I always thought that point and click adventures would be difficult to, move over onto like, I guess, a console environment, like handheld console environment, but it works well. It's actually really smooth, very clean, and yeah, just as enjoyable the 20 million other times that I played it.
Can I ask, with the Switch port, is it using the touchscreen functionality on the screen to do it?
So you can use the joysticks to walk around, and then the A, B buttons to select if you want to, but then you can also touch the screen and just go, I want to go here, or you can click on a character and if you want to talk, investigate, or anything like that. So it gives you the two options.
Nice.
So, which is actually quite handy.
Nice, yeah.
Especially when you have to do the typical thing in point and click adventures where you have to walk from one side of a room to another, and you can't speed it up. You just got to watch your character just slowly walk across your screen. So you just you press on the screen, you go walk over here, and then you can go grab a drink and wait for it to happen. So, but that one's always a classic. I don't know, a good majority of people are going to know Grim Fandango and probably have fond memories of it. Anyone else that hasn't, if you ever see it on sale, just give it a go. The style is fantastic, and it's kind of a nod to like Day of the Dead, that kind of culture. So, yeah, give it a look anyway.
It's probably Tim Schafer's masterpiece almost. Like, the Monkey Island stuff was pretty well loved and things like that, but I think Grim Fandango has gotten him the most universal praise out of all these games in his back catalogue, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I think that one was just purely based on the style. It was fantastically styled and just,
crazy too that LucasArts was the dev and the pub on that one.
No, like the LucasArts had that for a while. They were known for those great adventure point and clicks.
Yeah,
so.
and Star Wars games, but we'll
Stick
talk about
to
that
it, guys.
later.
Oh.
Yeah.
But that's all I hit for this week, as avoiding the heat.
Dream?
Thank you, Switch.
What about you? What have you been playing?
Well, Brendan, that sounded so involved, man. So now I'm gonna, I guess, change my inflection. I've had a pretty slow week. I haven't played a lot because, for one, I've had internet problems this week, which sucked. But also I hadn't had a lot of time to play anything significant. I did jump in and play a couple of games of Magic through MTG Arena. There's the new expansion coming out on the 25th of January. It's called Ravnica Allegiance, which are two words that don't mean anything to you unless you play Magic, and even then, probably not too significant. The main thing you need to know is that there's 259 new cards getting released. They're already available to purchase and to play with online. The official release date of the expansion is January 25. And yeah, it's cool. Just again, had a few games. Anytime it's similar to, I guess, the times you hear me talk about Hearthstone expansions. Whenever new cards drop, it's an interesting time because the meta changes. You start to see new decks and new win conditions come in. So yeah, just a lot of fun. But outside of that, not a lot. The one thing I did want to fucking play this week that I couldn't was Hyper Jam.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We 2 years ago at PAX had the absolute pleasure of playing a game called Hyper Jam, which do you know the dev's name?
Yeah, BitDragon. Yeah. So we got to play this at the Indie Showcase at PAX in 2017, and it is so much fun. It's just like a 4-player free-for-all brawler, sort of like an isometric view as well, but you're just basically killing the shit out of each other using like power-ups and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to play that again. That was so much fun.
Yeah, and the cool thing is we'll have some content that's going to drop once the embargo lifts. I think it's the start of the second week of Feb, the embargo lifts, but the game actually is released in full on the 12th of Feb, and that's on Xbox One, Steam, and PlayStation 4. They haven't confirmed if there is cross-platform capabilities there, but you can play 4-player online, which we'll be doing on the Steam. And hopefully I'll be poning these other 3 scumbags into oblivion like I did at PAX in 2017.
You and I have very different memories of what occurred at PAX. But anyway, look, that's really been it for me. But hey, Brendan, what have you been playing this week?
Oh, man. I have been playing the apple of my eye. It's hard because I can't say too much about it because I'm still under embargo. But I have just about finished. It's Sunday morning. I'll have it finished probably by about lunchtime today, hopefully. Resident Evil 2 Remake. I have got my hands on a copy, courtesy of the lovely PR team here in Australia, and I have been playing the bejesus out of this game. I'm trying to tiptoe around things to avoid any potential issues because embargo drops on Wednesday and this episode comes out 2 days prior. But in short, it is everything that I could have hoped for with this game. I've been beating my chest and beating the drum for this game since it was announced.
Nothing else.
And yeah, beaten many things, especially Sam at Hyperjam. But that's a story for another day. It is magical. Using that RE engine, which they debuted in Resident Evil 7, it looks so good. The graphics alone are just a sight to behold. The atmosphere is still there. It is tense. I have audibly shrieked many times playing this game, scaring myself and the dogs if they're around. Yeah, it is something special. I cannot wait to talk about this in more detail. We'll have a full video review up this Wednesday when the embargo does drop, but it is everything I could have hoped for.
I want to retract a statement from a while ago when we first saw the trailer for Resident Evil 2 Remake. Was it E3? Was that the first time we saw it, or was it before then?
Yeah, at E3.
I did remember saying, probably on the podcast, that graphically I thought it looked quite shit based on the trailer, which obviously everything, gets better.
Hot takes.
But I think I was more shocked than anything. I'm like, this doesn't look that impressive. Anyway, so I've watched gameplay, I've seen the graphics, and it just looks great. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, I take my statement back. The graphics looks great. It's really smooth. Just the title screen with the rain in the backdrop. The ambience is quite eerie. So I give it points. I still have had not the nerve to actually play the demo. So yeah. If it makes you shriek too, Brendan, I have no chance.
Yeah, it's that throwback to traditional survival horror games, like from the OG Resident Evil days and the Silent Hill days and things like that, where it is anything could come at any time around a corner or out a window, and you hear creaks in the floor and little rattles on the windows and on the doors. Like, I was constantly on edge playing this game.
I have to ask, because you've obviously played the original, did it stick straight, like word for word, movement for movement?
Not like, I'd say it's about 95%. They've changed some of the puzzles for the better, and they've changed the tank controls to the controls that you're familiar with from Resident Evil 4 onwards, so it's a bit more fluent with your movement and your targeting and things like that. But as far as the main story goes, it sticks to the main story, but it changes some of the puzzles and some of the interactions with characters and things slightly. But the rest of it, for anyone that knows Resident Evil 2 or played Resident Evil 2, it'll feel like home for them with some nice changes for the better. But also, if anyone hasn't played it, they'll be able to jump into this game and get an understanding of what happened with the way the backstory is unfolded through the hours of gameplay. It's so good. It is so good. I cannot wait to play this some more and finish it and probably play through again.
Cool.
What difficulty? Can you pick difficulty?
Yeah, I usually do my first playthroughs on games like this just in normal. Smash it through so I can get that full core experience, then go back and maybe play hard. But even on normal, like just like with survival horror games of the 90s and what have you, ammo's scarce, enemies will fuck you up all the time. You're constantly on the toe, like you're always running. It feels like, because you're trying to conserve your ammo. You might be short on green herbs or first aid spray. It's great. It's so good. And inventory management, as much of a pain of an ass as it can be, it is still so fun to try and juggle your limited slots with things you might need to carry around. So, God, it's good.
No, it's good. I just was curious, especially if it was going toe for toe exactly how the previous game went, whether that takes from the experience or doesn't make it as, you know.
It still feels as rewarding for me. Like I've played through RE2. I reckon I've probably finished it 10 times or so over the years.
Wow.
It's been out, what was it, 20 years ago? It came out in 98. So, yeah, it still feels fresh to me. Even though I know some things that'll happen in the story or enemies, they've just changed things around slightly to make it feel like it's still new.
Yeah. But okay, cool.
The atmosphere.
I'm glad
my heart.
Yeah, I'm glad it lived up to the hype for you, because that would have been really sad to see if it actually flopped. So
Yeah, I'm keen to hear like your full spoiler review from you of it, and just hear more after the embargo gets lifted. I hate playing horror games, but just hearing you talk about it makes me want to consider this. It makes me want to consider this.
not even do it, just consider it.
I don't know. I just remember playing RE7. I know there's sort of a different kettle of fish. Like RE7 shaved some years off my life for sure.
Especially because you were strapped into the VR.
Yeah.
You know, you were in, you know, backwater bayou, you know, Southern America, fighting bad people. But here you got your peripheral vision still. You're not strapped onto a big PS. It's still scary as shit. Don't get me wrong, but they're different styles of game.
Yeah, cool. All right, I'll think about it.
All right. While you're thinking about that, we'll get a little bit of housekeeping done and dusted. So first and foremost, as we mentioned in episode 134, February 14th, Valentine's Day, 8-Bit Day. Get excited. A whole heap of announcements and new content, things like that are coming your way in a matter of, what is it now? 20
Weeks.
days? 20 days, something like that. It's coming thick and fast, so get excited. More information will be trickling out over the coming weeks leading up to February 14th. And outside of that, audiotechnica.com.au to grab all the best in audio-based equipment, whether you want gaming headphones, gaming microphones, podcasting microphones, studio microphones, turntables, you name it, they got it. So, moving on.
iTunes Review of the Week.
And this review headline reads, I'm hungry. And this is by Rosendo3250. I'm hungry for more hungry gamers. Love you three and how you attack video game news and opinions. Unfiltered and honest with some jokes thrown in makes the Hungry Gamers one of the best video game related podcasts around. Chuck them a subscribe. You won't be disappointed! ! Rosendo3250, we love you for your honesty. We agree wholeheartedly with what you're saying. Chuck us a subscription, chuck us a review, chuck us a rating. Cheeky 5 stars if you don't mind, thank you very much. On the iTunes or your podcast hosting platform of choice. But Rosendo3250 coming in with those spicy hot takes to lead us off with our first review of Season 4 of The Hungry Gamers. What do you guys reckon?
That was such a nice pillar to end the year on, though. Gotta be honest.
That's true. So that review did come to us late December of 2018, but we didn't roll one in last episode, so we thought we'd hit episode 135 here on the right track with Rosendo3250.
Which makes Rosendo3250 the winner for 2019 already. Brendan, tell him what he's won. She's won.
Rosendo3250, you have won this fancy pen that I'm holding in my hand. It's actually got my name and old work mobile phone number engraved on the pen. The clicker on the back, the nub actually doubles as a stylus, so you can be writing on pen and paper and writing on your tablet or touchscreen laptop nearly at the same time.
Well done. So just write back, give us your address, and Brendan will fire that off.
I really will if
that'll
you do.
happen. Yeah,
I really will.
Yeah.
But don't bother calling that number because I no longer work for that company, so you'll probably get some rando trying to sell you something that you don't need. So, but this pen is great.
I can vouch for that pen.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like a cool pen.
I'm kidding. The stylus is actually quite handy.
It really is, in all honesty. But thank you for that review. As we say just about every episode, these reviews keep those emotional lights on in our hearts. So be sure to chuck us a rate, review, and subscription on your podcast platform of choosing. While you're there, give another review and a subscription to the other members of the hashtag 8-Bit Collective or the other podcasts you listen to, because it means an awful bloody lot. On to the news.
This week's news headlines.
So, the first bit of news. EA cancelled Star Wars game to rush another Star Wars game. And this news headline comes via way of Cody Gravel at Screen Rant. The long saga of EA's Star Wars license continued earlier this week when reports emerged that indicated the publisher had cancelled its upcoming Star Wars game. Now, further updates from those familiar with the project have suggested that EA made the decision to scrap the open-world Star Wars game in favour of a newer, smaller-scale Star Wars title instead. So I ask you, fellow hungry co-host, what the hell is happening with EA and the Star Wars video game franchise?
Yeah. It's pretty crazy, isn't it? So this was, Michael Schreier at Kotaku. This guy's got his finger on the pulse. So he was first to sort of break this. I think he had 3 people who, the way he described it, I had an understanding of the goings on at EA. So not clear if they work there or not. Probably work there. But basically they'd said that this had been cancelled. Yeah. It's been a pretty rough relationship between EA and Disney and Star Wars. They've had Battlefront 1 and 2, which obviously Game of the Years in the years that those games came out, probably not. Such a shocking release for Battlefront 2 specifically. And then to have this really cool Project Orca, this open world Star Wars RPG, like that just echoes of like Knights of the Old Republic, cancelled to rush another one. That doesn't sound good, does it?
And this is on the back, they were working on that bounty hunter based game that could potentially have tied into Boba Fett or maybe his cronies that got canned a couple of years ago as well. Like, the money that they must be flushing down the toilet from decisions like this would be astronomical.
Do you think? Yeah. I don't know about that. They're definitely losing money, but it probably works out to be cheaper for them in the long run to just scrap it than to ramp up development and try and get things to meet deadlines, like trying to get goals met. It's
really interesting because this is obviously the deal that EA and Star Wars signed. It's a 10-year deal. So this is only like the 5th, rolling into the 6th year now, I think. So we've still got potentially another 4 years of this rocky EA Star Wars based union. And it just doesn't bode well. It really doesn't bode well for Star Wars games in general. Like, as you said, Dream, the KOTOR games and stuff like that, they were revolutionary and perfect for Star Wars fans and even just fans of RPG based sort of titles. But since then, it's just a slippery slope. And they keep on sliding down.
To be fair, they are trying to make games on such a very, very risky franchise that has very outspoken fan bases. And then not only that, you're then combining video games with a very other outspoken fan base. So you kind of put those two together and then you're playing with fire. In regards to how the hell do you not know how to make a good Star Wars game or how to like at least streamline, because like I gotta be honest, I didn't play any of those Battlefront games, or they didn't appeal to me. The style didn't appeal to me, so I didn't bother playing them. Give me Galactic Battlegrounds, please. I would like that back. But I just don't understand how hard it is to flesh out a good Star Wars game. You've got such an extensive universe with massive, like, different characters and different races and stuff like that. It's like, give us like Destiny's Star Wars, like give us something like that. That would be great. Yeah, I just don't understand why it's so difficult. I don't know if Disney's intervening with all their choices or EA just shit.
Well, that's a really good point. And to also sort of be fair, EA have said that they'll do their best to reuse the assets that have been developed for this RPG. And I would like to, I mean, if they want to do something entirely different with, like, from anything that's been made before in the Star Wars universe, then, like, fuck, power to them, go for it. But you're right, the blueprints are kind of already there. They've had a lot of really great Star Wars games over the years, including the original Battlefront series, which I think is by far one of the best games on the old Xbox, is Star Wars Battlefront. And Battlefront 2. They were fucking fantastic. But Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 were great.
The Force Awakens games are even good. Oh, Force
That's
Unleashed.
what I was
games.
trying to think.
Force Unleashed,
I'm
not
like,
Awakened.
someone did okay.
Jedi Academy was cool. Yeah. They've done well in the past when it was primarily LucasArts or BioWare. I'm not sure.
Phantom Menace on PC was great.
I love that game.
It.
Yeah, I forgot about
Yeah,
that
thank
game.
you.
I love
That was
game.
really fun.
I vaguely recall you can't jump in that game.
No, you can. You can, but
you
not
can?
great. Yeah, I think the jumping mechanic was really like
It was dodgy.
like all over the place. Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're playing on PC too, so mouse and keyboard.
Yeah.
How crazy is they even made a pod racing game for the N64?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I've forgot that.
But I don't know. It's a pretty big hill they got to climb. They've got another 4 to 5 years left with this deal between EA and Disney and Star Wars. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if this newer, smaller scale Star Wars title that they are now working on sees the light of day.
What do you think it is? Do you reckon it's a mobile game?
Oh my god, it wouldn't surprise me. It would not surprise me. A mobile, like it'll be a CCG or some bullshit like that. You wait.
It'll be another fucking card game.
I'll sign up. Brendan and I like
That's what
signing
he
right
says,
up for it. Yeah. Hey, if it's good, I'm open to it. I'm open to it.
Yeah, but it's tough. Like, I think Ali, you knocked it out of the park when like it is a very, very sort of sensitive fan base in gaming in general, and then you combine that with a very sensitive and passionate fan base with Star Wars, and it's hard to get everyone in that melting pot to be happy and satisfied. But just release a game. Stop canning these games. I feel for the potential people that are working on these games. Hopefully they're not sort of now on their ass, because that's something that we haven't really heard about. If this, like with the cancellation of this game, where are they now?
They have said that. Well, I read that at the time of article being written, no one had been made redundant or canned as a result of the game being cancelled. So hopefully those resources are being redeployed elsewhere. But you know, these things happen over weeks, not days. So wait and see, I guess.
Yeah.
Hopefully those resources are focusing on Titanfall 3 right now.
Oh,
Titanfall
bring it
3.
back.
Yeah.
I hope we will, but I don't know if we will, because Titanfall 2, it got released in just a cluster of big games and it just never met sales expectations. But the game's great. It's so good.
I love Titanfall.
The game's great.
Titanfall, it's such a great game. And I was trying to think, why did Titanfall 2 do badly? But now you reminded me, it was just at the worst possible time to be released.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like that COD window towards the end of the year, like October, November.
It was in between when COD, Titanfall, Battlefield, like all in the space of, I think, 10 to 14 days or something. And it just got lost in the shuffle.
That sucks. Love Titanfall.
Me too. Another game that got a little bit of a showcase this week, Mortal Kombat 11, with the red carpet unveiling, a little bit more behind the scenes stuff, a couple of sort of bullet points that I've put together. Ronda Rousey is quote unquote playing/voicing Sonya Blade.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
She's everywhere. She's everywhere. She's obviously the WWE Raw Women's Champion these days. She's now Sonya Blade in the video game. Maybe she's going to become Sonya Blade in the next, no doubt, live adaptation of Mortal Kombat.
Is that a thing?
She'd have to be an old Sonya Blade.
She's not that old. She's in the early 30s.
Yeah, she's fine. I think
But Sonya Blade was like young.
they'll make it work. They'll make it work. If you had the decision between getting like a like for like version of Sonya Blade perfect, or getting Ronda Rousey attached to your film project, I think they'd go for Ronda
obviously
Rousey.
what they're gonna go for. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a bit funny that she's just the voice. It would have been cool if she was also the likeness. Her likeness was used as Sonya's. I know that's muddying it a bit, but how much does it matter that you're voice acting in a fighting game?
Yeah.
I thought that too.
I didn't play MK10, so I don't know what the story mode's like. It could be like pretty in depth. You never know, but Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think there's a lot to say. There's a lot of grunting and moaning as you take hits. That's really it.
I'll say one thing.
Take it from Rousey's loss against Nunes. Sorry.
I submit.
Couldn't help myself. All right.
Yeah, so one thing that this sort of showcase and the subsequent B-roll and the trailers and the sort of behind-the-scenes footage that they've sort of shown from this event is the gore factor has been turned up to about 25 on the scale.
How does that even work?
My goodness. There is blood and bone breaks and impalements and eyes getting punched through the back of people's heads and faces literally getting ripped off skulls.
I just want to say thank you to every single person that took the reference of the face being taken off and then sending me Nicolas Cage memes. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Face Off is an underrated classic.
Damn right.
Yeah. So ridiculous, the concept. But yeah, still two tour de forces in Nicolas Cage and Johnny Travolta.
Oh, such a good prime. So a new character got named.
Yes.
But I'm seeing who he's a relation to. And now I realize I'm completely out of touch with characters in Mortal Kombat. When did the characters, essentially double? I guess the last time I played Mortal Kombat was probably on the Mega Drive, so...
It's been a lot of Mortal Kombat since then, yeah.
Yeah. At this stage, the players confirmed in MK11 as of today. There's Raiden returning, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Baraka, Sonya Blade, Scarlet, Shao Kahn, who is a pre-order bonus. We see Liu Kang in some of the footage as well. And then, yeah, the new big bad in this one, instead of Shao Kahn or Shang Tsung, is Kronika, who is the main antagonist of Mortal Kombat 11. And they've debuted her sort of right-hand man, main offsider named Geras. And interesting playstyle. He can sort of manipulate time and sand. Yeah, but he does some pretty cool shit. And
it looked like Doomfist.
Yeah, I could see that. Bit of Doomfist vibe to it. But yeah, he very, very Prince of Persia-esque with some of his movements and slowing time.
Sense of time.
Yeah. But he looked pretty cool. He's got a similar sort of look and stature as like Jax. It almost looked like Jax, just with sort of elemental abilities. But yeah, it looked bonkers. Some of the combos they were chaining together, and just the bone breaks and the brutal abilities, or whatever they're calling them these days. Oh, not for the squeamish, that's for sure.
Yeah. It was a franchise known for its gore factor, and it's like, how does Mortal Kombat actually keep on getting, because that's what they have to do, don't they? To appeal to the masses, they have to just keep on upping the gore, because that's what they're known for. So how do you make it even more gory than what the last one was?
They do. My God. Yeah, it's those fatalities are getting more and more creative as these new releases roll out in the Mortal Kombat franchise. So I'll give it a go. I'll impale some people.
Yeah, I think equally as shocking as the gore factor and the brutalities is this collector's edition price.
Yes.
$499 for a collector's edition that comes with a scorpion bust of his head.
Yeah, and it's 1-to-1 as far as the scale, so it's a big head of Scorpion. But yeah, 499 AUD for the collector's edition with a K, because obviously it's Mortal Kombat. But yeah, it is a heavy outlay just to get Scorpion's head on your shelf.
Do you reckon the bust statue is going to be made out of Hessian-Sack? Sorry for that reference.
It's a nylon sculpture.
What's the status on that? Have people got their sacks yet, or
no? We're getting them within the next 6 months. We got an email the other day saying that it'll be delivered to you within the next 4 to 6 months.
Oh,
fuck.
Painful.
What is it like? Did the world run out of Hessian? Is that what it was?
No, canvas.
Sorry,
the world run out of... All right, so anyway, let's keep coming back to that, because we need to make sure that Bethesda are accountable here. Yeah.
I'll just do an update every second or third episode, and I'll just be like,
Still don't have my sack.
Still don't have my bag.
Where's Brendan's sack? Get that trending.
Oh no.
Also with the Mortal Kombat showcase, right at the end, apparently Cabal was there.
Yeah.
A character that I loved playing OG Mortal Kombat days, so I'll be happy to bring him out. So like I said, I didn't play I think I did play like a few rounds of the last Mortal Kombat, maybe with you, Brendan?
Oh yeah, we played it. Do we play it like on a show floor somewhere, maybe?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe it was at the IGN event.
Yes. Yes.
And yeah, it got pummeled. So that was probably the last time that I played that game. But I really think I should probably get into this one because why not? I'm not a big fighter in fighting games or anything like that, but hey, why not?
The cool thing with these franchises, what they're doing now as well, is bringing in obscure characters as DLC. Like there's the Predators made an appearance, Xenomorph, Freddy Krueger, Michael Myers. All these people are coming in. I don't know. Obviously, they don't tie into the direct storyline, but it's pretty cool to be able to be, the Xenomorph from the Alien universe and, spit acid and rip the shit out of people. Or
sometimes I think that takes away from the game, though.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat's not really known for its story. Like, they try and weave it in, but it's like, how many times does Outworld want to come try and take over Earth? Like, seriously.
Yeah. Why would you want to take over Earth? I mean, it's already an Outworld, really.
Especially out near Marylands.
Go get that haircut.
Why am I getting ripped on here?
How was it?
It's fine. You know what? It's fine. And I did get a haircut, and I think it looks
You're
great.
looking fresh. You're looking
Thanks.
fresh.
Thanks. Yeah. Don't panda now. There are a lot of grays. Next story.
Okay, so this comes to us via way of Variety. Rockstar Games hits back at real Pinkertons over Red Dead Redemption 2 lawsuit. And this comes via way of Emily Guerra over at Variety. There's a little bit of reading here to go through, but I'll jump through it as quick as I can. Then we'll unpack this with our very unlegal-oriented minds. So, Rockstar Games and Take-Two Interactive hit back at the real-world Pinkertons last week after receiving a cease and desist letter of use of the Pinkerton Agency's name and badge throughout Red Dead Redemption 2. A complaint launched in response to Pinkerton Consultancy and Investigation, the historical agents turned risk management service currently acting as subsidiary to the security firm Securitas AB, maintains that the use of the word Pinkerton is protected under First Amendment principles that protect expressive works. The game reference to the historical Pinkerton Detective Agency and its agents is but one of a myriad of ways that Red Dead 2 accurately portrays the historical 19th century American landscape, reads the complaint from the game makers. So, this is obviously not the first time that Rockstar and Take-Two have been under fire from lawsuits. Obviously, Lindsay Lohan has tried to sue them in years past over her likeness used in GTA 5. And then a few other ones. I've just done some skimming and I've found bizarre Grand Theft Auto-based lawsuits, right? So Cypress Hill's Shag sued Take-Two. They've used his likeness and similarities on the main character, who's obviously CJ in San Andreas. Gamers sue Rockstar for delayed content for Grand Theft Auto Online. That occurred in 2013. Mobwife / reality star Karen Gravano filed a $40 million lawsuit against Take-Two and Rockstar, claiming that one of the Grand Theft Auto 5 characters stole her life story.
Wow.
Yeah. So that is but a handful of things that have been going on with Rockstar and Take-Two. Everyone wants a piece of Rockstar's millions. And the Pinkerton Agency is obviously not the last ones to come along and try and take a pound of that flesh. What do you guys reckon of all this?
Well, with Rockstar, especially GTA as well, like every GTA, there are like subtle nods and references to people, like whether it's fictional or, like it's kind of known in those games that there's usually like references, but I guess it's how drawn out or how like vague the reference is that you assume that they can get away with it. But this Pinkerton one was just a funny one because like the basis is that it's historical accuracy. That's why they're allowed to do it. So I don't know. Rockstars just gonna always get sued, aren't they? For one thing or another.
Yeah.
For whatever they do.
I
mean, they make GTA.
I think we're muddying this a little bit. The parody stuff that GTA is being sued for in the past is very different to what the Pinkertons are trying to do.
Yes.
The Pinkertons, it's just trademark. It's their name. That's what they're suing for, apparently. Which is crazy because they've been around for 170 years. They've been around for a very long time and they've done a lot of shady shit. I don't know one way or the other what's like legally right, but I do love that the one thing that Rockstar have come back with is that the Pinkertons are one of the myriad references that help make that help make Red Dead 2 Redemption 2 like historically accurate.
Yeah.
And every time I get into that game, I'm just like rootin' tootin' cowboys shooting up towns, putting like carriages on train tracks and blowing shit up and doing all sorts of fucking crazy stuff. But they're going down this path of like, no, we strive for historical accuracy with this game. I just thought that was funny. That was just a little bit.
It's a funny way to like kind of put their foot in the ground.
But it is true. It is true. And the Pinkertons get referenced in a lot of TV shows and movies set in the Wild West because they've been there forever. Not only have they been there forever, they're typically portrayed as the bad guys because they did do a lot of bad and shady shit.
Mm-hmm. As evidenced by Deadwood. Those Pinkertons, they are no good SOBs.
They got the show cancelled, those bastards.
Yeah. Fucking Pinkertons.
It's coming back. I'm so excited for that.
I don't know how they're going to fit it into a movie, though.
It's just the movie, or is it a TV series? Just the movie. You're nodding your head and drinking water. Okay.
Yeah.
You do this really funny thing when you drink water, Brendan. You're like a Coke ad. The head tilts to the side, and you drink it like that.
Because I'm trying to be not directly at the microphone in case you hear like slurps.
Give the audience
and
what
stuff.
they want. They want that little ASMR action in there.
Professional.
Gulps.
Very professional. Yeah, so I don't know. It'd be interesting to see if the Pinkertons get any money out of this, but yeah, I didn't realize GTA had been sued so much, or Rockstar had been sued so much.
Yeah. It's
crazy.
It's a long fabled lawsuit laden history.
It's what happens when you make a lot of money.
And continue to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And put out a bit of risky content.
Yeah, that's
when you're always trying to push the envelope a little bit. Like, of course, people are going to direct whatever they can at you because they feel like they can get away with it, I guess.
Yeah. So, side note, like, sort of roughly connecting threads here, but, Lindsay Lohan's got a new reality show on Foxtel, right? And obviously, her fabled history, she has been in and out of rehab for drugs and alcohol. And this new show is about her trying to open up a bar in, like, Europe somewhere. And she's, like, a bar owner in a place full of drugs and alcohol and partying and shenanigans. And it's like, obviously, the producers greenlit this knowing that there's a fair chance she's probably going to burn out and go down in flames here. But, my God, I don't know. It's just a head shaking moment for me. Lindsay Lohan sucks.
Okay, that was funny because I thought you were actually going to connect like GTA and Red Dead or something like that, or Lindsay Lohan, but you were just talking about a new show.
Purely Lindsay Lohan news. Purely Lilo.
Yeah, purely
I mean,
Lilo.
she's being smart. Opening a bar restaurant, she cuts her costs, then she won't have to like pay for a Coke.
Just post-mix, just open mouth over the post-mix fountain. Just
It's not the Coke that I think I was talking about.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Nice one, Dad.
Oh, jeez.
All right. So that rounds out the news for this week. Good luck to Lindsay Lohan and her future endeavours at the bar. The show is on E, I think, here in Australia. Couldn't tell you where it is broadcast globally, but I'm sure it's going to be a dumpster fire. But anyway, we are bringing back the game that stops a nation. Who am I? All right, so in Who Am I am going to be reading a series of factoids about a character from a video game. Could be current, could be past gen. They just need to exist in the gaming landscape. Dream, no cheating, mate. No cheating. Hands off the keyboard. We're sick of your shit. We want a nice, clean fight here. So you two touch metaphorical gloves, and we'll get this thing underway.
It's the character's name, not the game. It's the character's name, not the game.
Yes.
It's the character's name,
Yeah,
not the game.
just to recap, I've won both times. And I've won in glorious fashion both times because I am cleverer than my opponent, my enemy. Slicker, you might say.
Can't really dispute that.
My hands are where you can see them. All right, Brendan.
Okay. The first fact. I was originally created by Noboru Sugimura.
Oh no, it's gonna be some Japanese shit that Sam will know.
Is it? No, it's not. Hold on. Go on. Next one.
I was originally known as Elsa Walker.
What? All right.
Originally known as Elsa Walker, so that doesn't mean they are known as that anymore, but that was their initial name. Made my first video game appearance in 1998.
Oh, there's probably someone who knows this already. Fuck, what is this?
Sea Viper has a costume inspired by my iconic look in the fighting game Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. The look of mental anguish on both our competitors' faces here is magical. I was one of 7 nominees for the 1999 Nintendo Power Awards in the category Best New Hero, where I placed 3rd.
1998, 1999, Best New Hero. Your name was Elsa Walker, so it's got to be a 64 title. Is that am I warm? You didn't say I can't ask questions. You didn't say I can't ask my own questions.
You can, but I didn't say I'd answer them. Yeah.
Fuck.
To date, I have appeared in 18 video games, and that can vary from lead role to ancillary character.
Did you say the character was initially introduced in 1998? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Fuck.
I love to ride motorbikes. I am often seen in a signature jacket, and on said jacket are the words "Made in Heaven."
Obviously, neither Ali or I have played this game. Get to the easy clues.
In cinema, I have been portrayed by both Ali Lata and Alison Court.
Oh.
Who the fuck are these
Oh
people?
no.
I have a brother named Chris.
Chris Walker.
Motorbikes. What the fuck?
I am one of the lead characters starring in a soon-to-be-released remake. My other co-lead character in said remake is named Leon Kennedy.
I knew this was I don't know her name.
Do you know the game, Ali?
It's Resident Evil, right?
Is this a Resident Evil thing?
It is a Resident Evil thing.
Fuck.
Because Leon and because Ali, she played it in the movies.
Yep.
And
Can I?
I don't know.
I'm just gonna
I've
bow
never
out.
played a Resident Evil.
Same. You know this.
I've only played Resident Evil 5.
Same. and seven. And I couldn't tell you who those people are either. But I'll tell you
Jessica.
what. I'll tell you what. Lara Croft.
Sarah.
Just
Jessica.
I am Claire Redfield.
Claire Redfield. There you go.
Hi audience, how you going? This is Ali and Sam from the Hungry Gamers podcast. We've only played one Resident Evil game, and that would be Resident Evil 5, which is sometimes referred to as the worst Resident Evil game out there.
The racist one. The racist one.
Thank you for listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
So thanks for listening to the.
So I guess you won that, Brendan.
Yes.
The problem is the second that he said her name was like she was played by Ali
Lada.
Yeah, I knew Resident Evil, but then I'm like, as soon as you said that, I'm like, if it's Resident Evil, I couldn't tell you a single character's name.
So run me through those clues again. It's because it's not a 64 title, is it?
There's games that have hit on the 64.
Right, so it was on the 64.
But obviously she made a debut on PlayStation. with
So
Resident Evil 2
great
in
clue
98.
there with the Nintendo new hero thing.
Mm-hmm.
Real nice, like.
Swerve.
Yeah. You sure showed us.
You said you wanted something harder. I remember last time we did this, you were like, it's too easy. Start with the hard stuff. So I'm like, all right then.
No,
strap in.
No, hold on.
You went through all the points and we still didn't get it.
You went through the easy clues first, and then proceeded to go to the harder ones straight away. Like, that was your curve. You read them all out. I was just saying you should do the hard clues first. This time you did good, I think. They were like more obscure, and then they kind of got more specific.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to work this out. Maybe just keep it in the realm of titty games and Tekken, and we'll figure it out. But outside of that,
Yeah, that sounds safe.
yeah.
Okay.
What's the game? I'd like to see the Who Am I for that game where it's just like a bunch of dicks on a screen and you've got
Genital jousting.
Genital jousting. Like, yeah, like a Who Am I to be the genital.
Am I the green dick?
Am I the green dick in the Hawaiian skirt?
No, you're the blue dick with the pompadour hat.
Yeah.
Can't even tell you if that's a character.
I can confirm that the Hawaiian skirt is. I do have this game.
Ali would
Surprises no one.
Yeah. That's the Who Am I I'd like to see. Like a titty game Who Am I.
I'm not going to like the abuse we're going to cop for that one.
The titty game Who Am I.
No, the Ali and Sam don't know fucking Resident Evil characters.
Yeah.
But we can't all play everything, you know?
Yeah.
See, if you actually were describing like Nemesis.
No, I'm not even gonna forgive it. I'm fine. Yeah, like you said, Brendan, you can't play everything. And you can't Google either, apparently, so...
You know what? I didn't want to say Resident Evil because I didn't know how extensive your knowledge was. And last time when I said Uncharted, I gave you the answer. So I didn't want to say Resident Evil in case you're like, oh, then it's this character.
Well, that's what I do. I take credit for, you do 90% of the lifting and I just get that little bit, that 10% and the points. So as it stands, Sam 2, Brendan 1, Ali 0.
Mm-hmm. But it's still early days here at season 4. Ali could come roaring back, especially with a couple of dick and titty characters potentially getting shuffled into the deck over the coming weeks.
Yeah.
Thank God. I wonder if I can say that that's my knowledge base in like a game show. Jeopardy. Hi, yes.
I'll take
That's
dicks
right.
for
Dick and
500.
Oh God, I'll take dick for 500. That's a new T-shirt, guys. Check for it at the We Are 8-Bit store.
What's the series? Senran Kagura?
Yeah.
Senran Kagura, yeah.
You're a specialist. You're a Senran specialist.
Oh, they're actually bringing back a remake in the next week or so, actually.
What?
Burst. Senran Kagura Burst, yeah.
Is this an anime?
Yeah. It's an anime about like a female assassin school. And then there's like rival schools.
Is it a hentai?
No, it's
There
not.
would be some offshoots of it. That's for
I mean,
sure.
I'm sure there is some, but no, it's
Because
not.
it's pretty like suggestive. The one clip I've seen where they're
How
pulling...
dare you say that standard anime is suggestive? That is so wrong. How dare you?
Sorry.
All right.
All right.
Is there anything you two lovely people want to say before we start closing off episode 135?
Yeah, Hong Kong Massacre comes out on the 23rd. Some people might remember seeing that trailer, I think maybe on E3. It's kind of like Hotline Miami.
Oh,
Very,
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like point down shooter kind of thing. So I thought some people might have forgotten about it, just so letting you know on Steam, 23rd.
Yeah. I may not know RE world characters, but RE2 Remake does come out this week. Brendan, got your back.
Yeah, thanks, man.
As does MTG Arena's new expansion, Ravnica Allegiance. And Glass came out last week, and I'm going to go check it out today. And I'm very excited.
I'm looking forward to getting your feedback, because I've heard mixed reviews.
Look, I'll be upfront. I didn't like Unbreakable. I didn't like Split. So I don't know why.
You didn't like Unbreakable?
I didn't hate it. I just I don't think I appreciated it as much as other people have. And
True.
I certainly you watch that and it's not a film that you expect's going to lead into an expanded universe. And somehow it has. And now we have Glass. So
You know what? Fair point. I accept that. Yep.
anyway, so I'm just going more for the experience of seeing an M. Night Shyamalan expanded universe fully realized.
What a twist.
Yeah.
You know what expanded universe I hope we don't see realized is the Clive Palmer video game review, available on youtube.com/weare8bit by our boy Sammy Deej. Anyone that has been curious about Clive Palmer's video game that released the past week, obviously the man that wants to, in quotes, make Australia great again, the man that also wants to create Jurassic Park here in Australia, still yet to see that happen. If you do, you'll get my vote, but until then, fuck you. youtube.com/weare8bit and check out Sammy Deej's review on the Clive Palmer video game. It is ridiculous. It is terrible, but it's a video worth watching. But yeah, until next week with episode 136 of the Hungry Gamers podcast, we are going to be getting played out today by the Game Sushi podcast, a monthly show where Nobuyoshi and Chris discuss and review anything and everything in the space of the gaming industry. That also includes a slice of board game content as well. Be sure to like their Facebook page, as they are often regularly streaming their podcast recording live on said Facebook page. So, closing us out, the Game Sushi podcast. But until next week, 8-Bit Nation, much love.
Stay hungry.
Hi everyone out there in the 8-Bit Nation. I am Naboo, and this is
Chris.
And we are Game Sushi Podcast.
We are a podcast all about gaming, whether it's discussing the latest video or board games, talking about what crazy gaming adventures we've been up to, or the latest scandals and gossips that have been headlining the news.
If you like games and enjoy listening to dudes talk shit about games, then we are the podcast for you. You can find us on iTunes, Podomatic, Stitcher, or anywhere you find your good podcasts, and even on Facebook, where we normally live stream our episode recordings. Just search for Game Sushi Podcast and come join the fun.
You've been listening to The Hungry Gamers, one of many gaming and geek culture related podcasts from the 8-Bit Collective over on 8bit.net. Check out more episodes on your podcast service of choice. And while you're there, please be sure to rate and subscribe. Until next time, boys and girls, stay hungry.